Hey everybody, and it is Dr. McVary, and I just wanted to go over the poetry module. I apologize I couldn't record on Thursday and Friday with Storm knocked out all my power. And I just want to give you the overview. So a lot of you are confused about this taking over the classic. So what's going to happen is next week, I'm going to put you into groups. And if you look at the rest of the modules, picture books, fables, myths, fantasy, biography, realistic fiction, each group, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. You're going to take over building, teaching, and assessing the work during that module. Right? You take over the class. I'm hopefully modeling the practices during this poetry unit. You'll be getting a lot of feedback from me today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Unfortunately, Friday we have to take an unpaid no work furlough day. The state isn't paying us on that day, so we're not allowed to work. I wish that wasn't falling in the middle of the module, but c'est la vie, that is what it means to be a resident in Connecticut. You have to work for free. Or not work and not get paid. I guess that's really more what we're doing. So what do you have to do in this module? And you'll have an entire week to just build out your module. I'll give you a template in Google Docs, and you and your group will have a week to work on that module. But so all of next week, you won't have a module to complete. You'll be working on a case study with your group, and you will be building a module. For the poetry unit, if you walk through the lines, my screencast, which you guys will have to do one just very similar, where you record yourself narrating a screencast. I have some quick write activities in there. Those you shouldn't spend more than 5-10 minutes. Just as you're watching the video, throw your quick write right into the into Slack. All right. Then you have your normal readings, and you have to annotate one of them. Then you have your write task, where I'm asking you to use the readings, and that's it. And then you have the participation task. You have the complete the activity. And what I try to do is grab some poets that are familiar but also diverse. I mean, as you're building out your modules, that's something to think about. You've all talked about how much children's literature you've been exposed to, but still very little of it was from people of color or about people of color. So when you're planning your modules, do your best to include readings that are either from underrepresented authors or have underrepresented main characters. Then you just have to record your second digital dump, the same way that we did last time. But I want you to think about, go back to that spreadsheet. What assumptions did you have about children's literature before class? How are those assumptions evolving? Are there things, are we taking this diversity stuff a little too serious? Maybe, are we going overboard? What are your feelings around diversity? Do we need to double down? And we're not going overboard, but we need to double down and increase our role around diversity. What did you learn about yourself? What are some of the challenges you think you're going to face? That's what I really want you to get at in your digital dump. But in terms of your poetry and your writing, that's where you're going to really start thinking about. I want you to think about, how do you teach students to read a genre? How do you teach students to write a genre? And hopefully I will be doing my best to model what will happen over the next week. All right, everybody.